Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by Bethany Frost. Hi, Bethany. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now, Bethany, you've been with us before, so welcome back. Put a big old cheer on that. Yay! We love those backcomers when they come back. So, how have you been since you've been last on the show?
Busy. I've been pretty busy, actually.
Really? Yeah, I seen a lot of stuff going on, but don't tell me too fast. I've got it in my paperwork.
Okay.
Okay. Because I went looking at your feed, lady, and you are busy.
Yes. I feel like I just get busier every day.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm behind. I really do. It's been one flipping cold after the next. The worst thing to do is to get a cold during summer. It sucks so bad.
Oh, yeah. Summer colds are the worst.
Right? And there's some strange thing that keeps going in your lungs and everything. I've had it twice.
Ugh.
And it's like, really? Again?
That sounds miserable.
Oh, it has been. I haven't even been in the pool. But let's not down the viewers. I've already did one of those posts where I was like, where have I been? So without delay. Now last time you were here, we were talking The Reaper. And that had come out from Discovering the Reaper. And that came out from the Soul Bond series, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how was that perceived? I mean, how did it go? I mean, was your readers all excited?
It was I think it went pretty well. I mean, better than a lot of my books would launch. So that was helpful. The first signing that I got to have it at was Wild Deadwood in South Dakota.
Oh.
So I was a little worried because I've never been at that signing, so I didn't know like the readers there, and I had the new book. But that book was probably my top seller. Might have been the Black Pages though.
Oh, nice. So now walk me through, because everyone has a little bit of a different process. When you get ready to release, what do you exactly do before you get ready to release? What's your lead up to the release?
I'm still kind of new to the whole thing, so I'm every time I release, there's something different I need to I figure out how to do. So for that release, I made sure I had an ARC team set up and that they had the book before release. I know a lot of authors like give their ARC readers the book either before or like on release day. So I made sure my ARC readers had it before release day. I wanted them to get a chance to actually read it before it was out.
Right.
And then, yeah, we just kind of, it went out on my birthday. So I did a lot of posts about it for my birthday, and yeah, it was fine. You always have something you need to learn to do different. And, hopefully for my next release, I'm going to have more of like a party, like online party kind of thing with other authors and all that stuff. So we'll see. But
Oh, man.
I feel like the book went really well.
Good. When you said birthday, I was like, oh, please tell me she had a cake made, looked like the book.
I would love to have done that, and that's a really great idea for another birthday. But no, I don't know anywhere that does fun cakes like that, and I am not that talented.
Oh my gosh, not me. Mine's always like this big goo of a mess. So, excuse me. Yeah. So, and I started cooking with almond flour, so I can only imagine the pile that would come out of the
almond flour is tough. I did keto once upon a time.
Yes.
And during my keto phase, I did a lot of baking, and almond flour is my nemesis.
I did keto as well. Hence why I'm on that. But also, it decreases my bloating. I have severe bloating where it comes to regular flour, but it's still very hard to work with. And I'll even have bloating if I eat too much of that too. So, I've done something really gross, and this is totally off topic. Last night, I had pork rinds that I did as my baking. Yeah, don't ask. It was good, but it didn't look the prettiest. but it was
You know
good.
what? As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters.
It did. It was probably not very heart healthy, but excuse me, I'm gonna cough.
It's that summer cold coming back.
Oh no, it's just my throat is weak because I've had so many colds. So now if I cough too much, I'm hacking. So
Yeah.
I got to learn to stop. It's just a reaction. I get right into it and I get excited about who I'm talking to, so I constantly giggle. And so
I
hence
understand.
my problem. So, not to get talking on keto because I really do love catch watching my carbs. It really does work for me.
I have a
But
lot of amazing recipes from when I was on keto too.
oh, really? Do you? Now I use I know we're totally off topic. Please guys forgive me, but she got me on my roll. um try not to giggle, Eric. Try not to giggle. I use that carb manager app.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, and
Yep.
it does have recipes and stuff on it too. And I used it last time too. I lost a lot of weight. I just noticed that, when you process and things happen in your life, food is my go-to. You know what I
Same.
mean? Like,
Yep.
yeah, so you know what I'm
Same.
saying. So, the last year, and if anyone's listened to the vlog, you don't need me rambling on what's happened. You already know. Um, but I started eating more pizza and just a bunch of stuff that I know is not good for me. You know what I mean? I mean, occasional stuff is great, but when you gobble it down like I was doing, probably not the best, you
Yeah,
know?
I could polish off a whole pizza by myself if I got into that mind, like one of those moods of only food can help me.
Oh my gosh, you're speaking my language because I would eat a whole pizza. In fact, probably just 5 days ago, that's how I started getting back into it because I started to fit on some of my clothes and I'm like, although they still fit, you know what I mean? You can tell the difference.
Yep.
And I went up 2 sizes from losing from keto and I'm like, well, crap.
Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm not as hardcore this time around. I am watching it, but I increase it. I used to just do 20 carbs a day, and now I'm doing like 36.
Yeah.
So a little bit higher, but so a slower loss weight because you know what I mean. I mean, a girl loves to eat. You know what I mean. Oh, you did that last week too, little Laura.
I love food.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I do. I do. I love food, and if I'm busy, I forget to eat. And I'm sure like you're really
Yep.
busy.
Same.
That yeah,
I
because
get
that's
yelled at
there's
by my
this
husband. He's like, "Did you not eat today?" I'm like, "Oh, did I? Nope. Guess I
yeah.
didn't. No, I didn't. Sorry."
Yeah. I'm that way too. If I'm really busy, I forget to eat, you know? And I mean, I keep all my snacks out here in the she shed because I know if I go in the house and I sit down in front of the TV, I'm going to eat the crap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if I keep it out here, I budget it even more.
Well, that's good.
So speaking about you're busy, so I was reading, I went to your website and was doing some searching. And so next is Finding the Reaper, from what I understand. And when is that releasing?
As soon as I get done editing it.
Ah, still in the edits. When did you finish it?
Oh, all three of the books were finished the same time.
Wow,
Yeah, I
really?
wrote the whole trilogy was done at the same, like it all got written together. I didn't That's how it ended up being a trilogy. It was originally Discovering the Reaper was just supposed to be one book, and
Uh-huh.
when I finished, like when I got to like the end of that idea, I was like, this book isn't done though. So then I was like, all right, well, it could be two books. Sure, we'll keep going with two books. And then at the end of Finding the Reaper, I was like, no, so this is going to be a trilogy, because this isn't done.
Oh, yeah, I remember you said that it was a massive book and
Yes.
then you had to cut it apart. Yes, I remember. Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
it all got written at the same time. Like it all got written together one time. Um, it's just I didn't want to be the one who like put it all out at the exact same time. I'm like, no, I
Hmm.
want them to have their own time, their own,
Yeah, I'm bad at that, wanting to release it all at the same time because I do Vela, and the
yeah.
last couple of books I did, I just released all at once, and I noticed that it lost its what do you call that? Your speed, your momentum.
Yeah.
Every other episode that I did, when I put it out just episode, per episode, there was a lot more interest in it than when I put all of it out.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
wanted I wanted to make sure like each book has their own time in the sun, and then we'll go on. The only good thing about it is like I tell the readers when they buy the book and they're like, "When's the second one?" I'm like, "It's in editing, so it's
Mm.
going to come, but you're not going to be waiting like 3-4 years. It's going to be out within the next year or so.
Oh,
I'd
nice.
like to have it out by the end of the year, but I have two other projects ahead of that one right now that kind of need attention, so we'll see.
Nice. So now, not only does the second come out in the Soul Bond series, but you have a few more, correct, to be released?
Oh yeah, I've got four. I think I'm up to four
Four.
different stories right now.
Mm. Four.
Yeah, I like I said, I've
Nice.
been busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Now, one that did attract my interest, and I'm gonna ask if you can talk about it because I know it's not released yet, but could you give us, like, a little bit of teasing? Can you talk about ceramic chemistry?
That's the one. So that one's my next one out. It's due. It's gonna be out October 14th. I just got it back from my editor today, actually. So
Nice.
it's on track to be released on the 14th. Ceramic chemistry originally started. So we gotta back up a little. I did the Dirty Fairy Tales anthology was my first ever anthology, and that was taking fairy tales and making them more adult. That's where Down
Mhm,
Where It's Wetter came from. That same group of ladies at one point said, let's do this again, but we'll do villains. And I had chosen Maleficent as my villain to make. So I started writing ceramic chemistry in the mindset of it was going to be based around Maleficent and it was going to be part of this dirty villains anthology that I never ended up doing because I never could get the story working. Fast forward to this past February for Flirty in Kansas City, we do anthologies every year. The authors that are part of Flirty in Kansas City can join or not join, and I always join since I live here anyways. That anthology was thought up a little last minute, so we needed stories that were kind of like I didn't have time to write a story, so I went back in my sad log of started stories that never got to go past, a couple of chapters. And I was like, which
mhm,
one can I like work on to make it into a pretty good piece for this anthology that's not, it won't be able to take all of my time right now. And that's how ceramic chemistry turned into ceramic chemistry. It started off as this anthology piece for Flirting Kansas City, and it was one of those to be continues.
mhm,
So then I continued it. So it was only supposed to be a novella length. It was supposed to be fairly short. It is a novel length now. It's a contemporary romance. It's set in this pottery studio called Green Dragon Pottery Studio. The main character, Madeline, is a chemist at the studio. The studio is all about intertwining the traditional with the, modern. So they're trying to chemically enhance the clay of their pottery to be better than just normal clay, the way you find normal clay. So her job as a chemist is to find this perfect clay. Um, the main male of the story, his name is Revenal. He is one of the kiln keepers. So he is one of the ones who takes care of the kilns, make sure, they're temp, puts all the pottery in, all that fun stuff. So the whole premise of the story is that Maddie is kind of a klutz. She's kind of a disaster. She accidentally blows up her lab a lot. And recently, with her blowing up her lab, she's been setting off sprinklers. And the owners of Green Dragon have decided as like a punishment that she's to go help the kiln keepers reheat up the kilns and kind of learn like every time you set off these sprinklers, you are now causing more work for all of these people kind of thing.
mhm,
Um, Come to find out, her and Revenal actually have like a secret relationship going that they don't want people to know about. So it's just kind of one of those like we hate each other in public, but in private we like
mhm.
each other ideas. And so the
Ah.
whole story is pretty much about like her and Raven kind of coming out with their relationship while getting blown up by people that are not Maddie. And Maddie is being stalked by someone that she didn't even know, like it's someone who wasn't even on her radar. So there are triggers for this story. It's my first story I've ever written that needs trigger warnings. And it's just really fun contemporary romance. I'm really excited about it. I have 2 covers for it. So you can either have the cover with the people on it, or you can have what the discrete cover, the new in thing, which is discrete covers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to work with Amazon on how to make both available at the same time. So like if people want to buy the book, they can just buy like, oh, I want this book, but I want the discrete cover. Well, cool, here you go. Or I want this book, but I want the people cover. So Amazon,
Yeah.
gotta love them.
Yeah. That is an interesting because well, they let you publish different versions as far as like the Vela you can, if you've done a Vela, you can publish, you can go straight right into a book, or you can go right into Audibles. And they also let you have, let's see, paperback, hard copy. So I wonder, you've been in talks with them right now on it?
Yeah, my PA and I have been working with Amazon to try to figure out like the easiest way to do this without it being so overcomplicated. Like, can I just, publish 2 versions of this book? Or are they going to flag one of them because it's essentially the same book and they're going to, copyright issues or something like that? So we're trying to figure out the easiest way to do this without stepping on too many toes and making it a headache for everyone.
Mm. I would think the easiest way would be to put in the title that one is one and one is the other. You know what I mean? So then the title is not exactly the same, and then all they have to do is link that to the main cover.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's
Like,
definitely a way to go, and I'll definitely have to look into that for sure. I mean, that sounds like a really good plan, actually.
you're welcome. Because it's, if it's in a series, you keep it in the series. Like, you know what I mean? You're keeping it under the series title. They should be linked anyways.
Well, it's
If
not
you're
a series, but we can definitely do it as a series, if that's going to be the
well,
easiest
I'm
way
just
for Amazon to be like, oh, it's still.
right, but you could title it like, instead of series, you could use something else. I don't know. I don't want to say box set, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. And I know box set
Mhm.
is a complete series of the book. Um, I mean, you
Um,
could always put in the title, you know what I mean, or something
yeah.
different as far as series.
I mean, luckily I have time, so I got some wiggle room as far as when it's actually supposed to be released. So I'm not scrambling this time. I scrambled
Mhm.
a little bit with Reaper, so I'm trying not to scramble this time.
Right. Well, that would be interesting. Excuse me. Keep me in the loop about how that goes across with Amazon, because that would be interesting.
I definitely will.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'm very curious about that. So now we know you've been busy um, writing, okay? But as I scroll a little deeper into your feeds, I
That's
noticed
the
that you've been busy in the event world.
Oh my goodness.
Tell
I
me,
feel like events are never ending at this point.
yes, tell me about your Fort Smith, Arkansas. I think that's your recent, right?
Yep, I just came back from that one actually. That was this past weekend.
Oh, well, tell me how that went.
It actually went really good. So it was a first time event. And the coordinator, Ashley, and I'm going to completely probably botch her last name, Zakarzuski. I call her Ashley Z because
Hey.
I can't pronounce her last name. Um, she was the one who set up the event, and I'm pretty sure she's from that area. She knows a lot about the area, but she set up the event. It was at the Bakery District in Fort Smith, which I'd never been to. It was I had a lot of reservations because it was an event I'd never been to. It was a first time event, and it's just one of those apprehension things. Like it could go bad or good. So I tried to have zero expectations when I went in. I didn't want to expect to do really well and then be disappointed. But I did really good. That event was really fun. I connected with a lot of new readers. I feel like it was a worthwhile event in the end, and I will be going back next year.
Nice. Now, do you have some new events coming up too, right?
I do. Like I said, I just keep adding. Like I have a spreadsheet now of all of my events because I forget which ones I'm going to at this point.
Do you have any come up the rest of this summer as we go into fall?
So I have my next one is going to be in October, the beginning of October. Um, Anytime author promotions, which is like my normal go-to signing group that I go through. They took over an event that's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'm not 100% sure what that event used to be called, but they overtook it. It was a last minute thing. It just kind of happened. It's on October 5th, and now it's called Flirty in Tennessee. So that's my next one. And that signing is supposed to be focused more on monster, sci-fi, paranormal.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that'll be interesting. I love Pigeon Forge area. My husband and I ride motorcycles in the Pigeon Forge area Pigeon Forge area. There we go. Is where the tail of the dragon resides.
Mhm.
So we've been there a few times and we love the area. So we're using this as a multiple, like we're going to go do this signing and help out AAP, but we're also going to go ride our motorcycles.
Hmm. You know, I had a thought back to our previous thing when you were talking about Amazon. What do you think about fraternal twin books?
Yeah, like that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be cool because they're the same, but they're not.
Right. I mean, they're literally the same interior. They're just different
Mhm.
covers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyways,
I
I
mean
gotta
that.
stop thinking.
No, thinking is good. Thinking is helpful. We like
Oh
the
my god.
thinking.
Yeah, I have an issue with search engines.
I love it.
That if you I was just telling Laura the other day, I'm really into well, not just one site, but I will go to a lot of sites if I'm looking for something,
Hmm.
and I love trying to competitive shop from one site to the next. It
Yeah.
becomes thoroughly addictive.
Yes. I'm one of
Yes.
those right now. Everybody talks about Ingram Spark. I haven't looked into it much.
Mm.
But that's another one I was like, maybe I need to go through that because maybe that's
Yeah. I
accepting.
actually I actually did an interview with somebody, and it's actually on a post-it note over on the other side of my wall on my office section of my she shed here. And I actually thought about that too. I never went further with it because I've had other things. I've got other things I got to jump over first before I can get too deep into anything.
Right.
Just finishing books, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I still have 5 that I'm finishing and in edits right now on another one, so
I hear
it's
you.
like yeah, it's
I
but that's what I
have
enjoy. I enjoy that part of it. I
I
enjoy
have
the
2 in
writing.
edits and 3 that I have to finish so I can get to edits.
Yeah. I don't like the editing part. I absolutely loathe it, and Laura knows that.
I both
Ab
love and hate it. Like
mm,
I'm an old school when I get to the editing portion, like before I send it to an editor, because I do have an editor,
mhm,
but
mhm,
I print it all out on paper and then I go through with my purple pen and edit that way first.
yeah.
Then I put
I
it,
used
I put it in and then I send it to my editor.
yeah. I used to, when I would do it, and it's such a waste of paper. I stopped doing it because I
It
have
really is.
it really is. I would print it all out. Like, I would go to a printing company, print the
Yep.
entirety book, and I write novellas, and it's still a huge waste of paper. Um, but I would print it all out, and I would read it that way first, and so I could make notations with my pen on
Yep.
it
That's what I
and
do.
highlight. Yeah,
It's really
highlight it.
like yeah, it is a huge waste of paper, but honestly,
It
it is the
is.
only way that I can get edits even partially done. Because for whatever
Yeah.
reason, like I'll read it on my phone because I have the Google Docs where I can just read it off my phone if I want to, and
Mhm.
I'll read it on my phone. multiple, like 300 times, I swear. And then I'll still be like, all right, I still need to like print this out and try it. And I'll still find so many other edits I just miss because I don't know, my eyes need the paper.
Yeah. You know what I started
Yeah.
doing outside of the paper? Well, you can do it with paper too, because I did it with the paper too. If you have, you don't do use Microsoft Word though, right?
I do when I need to send it to my editor and for my formatter.
Okay, so I do this on Microsoft Word after I've went through, like when I printed all the paper out and I go through and make my notations. When I go back, I do it again. Like this is why I hate editing because I'm neurotic and I'll still
Mhm.
miss crap, but don't get me started. But anyways,
We all do.
um
It's all.
no, but it drives me crazy. That's why I stopped reading reviews because I'm the worst. And the way I write's different anyways. I don't write like a lot of people. And if you don't know that about me, you can either really be off on it or it can be something that you would truly enjoy.
Mhm.
It was amazing to me that I actually worked with someone who I didn't know she read my books. I worked with her actually in a grocery store, and quite frankly, I didn't really like her, but that's beside the point.
We
But
loved her. She
she,
was great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it's past that point. We had a thing, but whatever. But prior to the thing, I would have never said I didn't like her, but she'd read my books and she loved them and she bragged about it to everybody at work. And I was like, "Oh, this is great," and I didn't know her from Adam, and she had
Right.
read my work, and I was like, dumbfounded, and that was my little moment of popularity success there, especially when it went around work that I was a writer and people didn't believe me and they would look me up. But again, past date. But anyways, I'm different, and she liked that about it. But I am different. So you either love me or totally hate me. And from that note, I stopped reading reviews because of that, because you just get too developed into it. But
Mhm.
anyways, I digress. When you talk about editing, my nemesis, one of the things I did, and I found very interesting, and you might like it. When you go through, I don't know if you can hear my dog snoring in here. You go
Can't
through
now.
Microsoft Word and have it read to you while you follow along on your
That
paper.
is that's actually really interesting. My one of my author friends, Sharon Tweet, she actually just told me about doing that too.
Mhm.
She said she did it
Because
for the first time and she's like, I caught so much more because
yes.
listening to it, you're like, that doesn't
Mhm.
sound right. And I'm like, that's
Yep.
genius. That's genius.
Yeah, I do that, but that don't make say that that makes me better, okay? Because if you read my work, you'd be like, "Oh my god, girl." But anyways, because like I said, you either gotta love me or hate me, and I'm okay with it. It's fine. Um, but I have done that, and so my biggest thing is when you write a word that sounds like the other word, you know what I mean, and you don't
Yes.
catch it, and because you're just typing away, you're all excited about what you're doing. Oh god, this is great, and you've
Yep.
missed it totally. And then until it goes through the thing, and you're like, "What the what?" you
Yep.
know? So, yeah. So, or they're spelled similar, but they sound different. You know what I mean? The pronunciation's a little bit.
Yes.
It catches things like that from me, and that was like one of the things I really enjoyed doing. But it is time. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
time taking of your time. Anyways, we went a little bit over, but I do enjoy talking with you, Bethany. You're always so entertaining for me.
I love hanging out.
Great. I love hearing that. I know I've been a little off here lately, so I'm really trying to hopefully get things rolling. Anyways, so I want to take a minute before I sign off and do my little Amazon deal of the day. I wanted to mention because there's an interesting event that I saw in your post coming up. It's in November. The KC Lit and Liberations?
Libations.
Libations, sorry.
Yeah, that's another
Okay.
one that I just kind of got. Um, and again, another author friend from the area. She's the one who sent it to me. Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. It's a newish event, but not a new event, I guess. It's one of those events that's held from like a bookstore library kind of thing. And in Kansas City, they have this thing down in the West Bottoms. of Kansas City called First Fridays, I believe is what it's called, or First Saturdays, something like that,
Mhm.
where the first of the that first Friday, Saturday of the month, they have all these different vendors and like shops open and stuff, and you can go down. I've never been able to go, but a few months ago, my friend Sharon and I went down because they had this little like author vendor drinks and like drinks event. So you went in, you paid for your ticket, you went in, you got a drink with your ticket if you wanted it. And then they had different like authors and vendors and stuff, and you could basically just go shopping. So it's kind of like one of those. From what I
Mhm.
understand, they're going to have this isn't going to be like just a one-time thing. They're going to do it more often, I guess. But it's supposed to be kind of like, it's an event, but they're going to have drinks and you're going to get to mingle a little bit with the people and not just, just go and be like, it's another author event. So I'm excited about it. I'm interested to see how it will go. Again, I'm trying to do one of those not having huge expectations, but
I
I'm
get
really
ya.
hopeful for it.
I'm sorry about the typo on here. I wrote it down wrong. I put liberations instead of libations.
You know what? It's probably going to be a very liberating event anyway, so I'm
I
sure that's
certainly
fine.
I hope so, I hope so. I wrote liberate. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, it's being
Scratching it
put on
out.
by the Legacy and Lore bookstore, so
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. I'm proud of you, really doing a lot of events. I find it exciting for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to that was my one thing when I decided to make authoring less of a hobby and more of like a full-time thing is I was like, I need to
Mhm.
do more as far as getting out to events. Like before
Yeah.
I was doing two events every year. I was doing Flirty in Kansas City and I was doing Planet Comic Con, which is also in Kansas City. Those two events every year, that was it. And I told myself, if I'm going to try to make this more of a profession, I need to go other places and I need to try other events. So that's what I've been trying to do.
I've been there. Especially when I first started. I really have to apologize to everybody. I really don't realize how loud it is because I personally have ear ear, ear headset on. There you go. I have a headset. And as I mute myself because I know she's doing it beneath my feet, she is snoring like no other.
I can't hear her over here, so
Oh, thank God.
you're good because I don't hear her here.
Um, oh, I have two dogs in here. I always usually have Brutus, but Cleo has been stuck to me like glue lately. And she's under here as well. And she's so loud when she sleeps.
Yeah, my author room is my cat's like sanctuary from my dog. So there's like a small like piece of wood that goes across the door so
Oh,
the dogs don't
jeez.
come in, which it works for my teacup Yorkie because she's so small, like the wood comes up to her face. But my
Oh,
dachshund, who's a much bigger dog than her, um, he could completely jump it if he really wanted to, but he doesn't.
oh my God. This one, she's a corgi. We've recently shaved her only because she's so long haired
Hmm.
and she sweat, you know what I mean? Not sweat. She, pants so much as it gets hotter.
Right.
So we went ahead and shaved her. And she she is a hoot. She's only 2, but
Oh,
she
that's
is
a
I know,
baby.
yeah, she is. She's just a baby. But she is a character and half, and she is right under my legs, just snoring like no other. In the she
Oh,
shed, I have a doggy door. Yeah, they are. I have a doggy door in the she shed, so they come and go as will and let all the flies in.
of course, because that's how that works.
Yes. Anyways, I thank you so much, Bethany, for being on. You're kind of kicking my not sick podcast. So I want to thank you so much for bringing me back after one cold after the next. And I do enjoy speaking with you. You're a delight.
Oh yes, I always love coming on your show.
Oh, wonderful. I love hearing that. Come back again.
Anytime, you know that.
You know what we should do? Maybe with one of your events, would you like to go live on it? And you could put If you do it on your phone, we could put it right down and do a 20-minute. We might even adjust the timing for it, and then I'll just repost it later.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's work something out. Hit me up. Give me one of the ones you're willing to do it. It'd just be 20 minutes. I wouldn't take too much of your time.
Oh yeah.
And then we could put you out. Maybe you know what I mean? And we could repost it or whatever whenever you want to.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'd love to see how that would work.
Yeah, I'm up for a game. Anything different I think would be fun.
I agree. I like to try new
Awesome.
things.
Oh, me too. I do. So we've reached that time in the show, guys. I have chose something that I use all the time. And I don't know if you know about anything about me, but I try to be that bio person where I'm thinking about what I'm putting back into the world. The only thing I haven't brought myself to do is 2-ply toilet paper yet. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm horrible, but I have not been that conservation friendly yet. I'm getting there, I swear. I switched to tissues that are bamboo made, which helps with cutting down trees. So I'm very much trying. I really am. But today's deal is natural kitchen sponge, biodegradable, compostable, cellulose coconut scroter sponge pack of 12 eco-friendly sponge and dishes. Now they're normally hold on, I'm gonna scroll here. I have it written. They're normally $16.95. This is only a 10% deal, but they're at $15.25. And I'll have the link in the bio. I do use these guys and they work like a charm. And the scrubber side is so abrasive you can break, and it's all breaks down into your environment, so you don't have to throw it in the trash. You could throw it out with your garbage and kind of put it right back into the garden. At least that's what I do. So, anyways, it's something to think about. I want to thank you, Bethany, for being with us once again. You're always a delight. And I want to thank my listeners for being patient and coming back time and time again when even I'm hacking out my lungs. Until next time, guys, have a great evening. Bye bye for now.